The Xbox Series S could be one of the best budget gaming computers out right now. I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but you can actually plug in a keyboard and a mouse and other USB devices into your Xbox, and it works. I replaced my PC with the Xbox Series S for an entire week to test this hypothesis. And just to be clear, I'm talking about the Xbox out of the box, so no developer mode and no modifications. So let's start with the great things that I noticed during my 1 week of use, because I promise you, it goes downhill from there. The console is small and portable and fits snugly on your desk. It's also quiet, it looks really good, and it's energy efficient, especially compared to a full-on desktop computer. It also has pretty respectable hardware, a 512GB SSD, an 8-core Zen 2 processor, 10 gigs of shared memory between the system and the video card, and a built-in GPU that still holds up today. We'll talk about gaming in a minute, but for less than $250, its hardware isn't far off from what you can build today. Now, you can't install executable files like Microsoft Office or Steam, for example. You're limited to the apps found in the Xbox store, and unfortunately, there just aren't very many of them. But thankfully, you do have Microsoft Edge, and you can actually use that for most rudimentary tasks. I can open multiple tabs, I can watch YouTube videos, I can edit photos in Photopea and draft essays in Google Docs and check emails. I even ran some MATLAB code using their online IDE. Oh, it runs! Hey! I can even use a VPN on the Xbox to watch some of my guilty pleasure shows, like some of the trashy K-dramas, without my ISP ever knowing. And the way I did that was through the sponsor of this video, NordVPN. NordVPN can bypass region locks for games and for videos, and they work on consoles as well. I have friends in Europe and we like to play games ever so often, but some of them, like Valorant, are region locked, but enabling NordVPN completely bypasses that and allows us to enjoy the game together. Or sometimes when I travel, I need to access some sensitive information like my banking details, or potentially even more sensitive information like the latest chapter of the Boruto manga a few days early. All I do is turn on NordVPN on my phone and I can start browsing more safely and guilty-free. I've used NordPass for over a year and started using NordVPN this year, and it's been great as I've needed the extra security as I've traveled. NordVPN is offering 4 months free when you purchase their 2-year plan, and it's only a few dollars a month. Go to nordvpn.com/OzTalksHW to get started on the deal. That's nordvpn.com/OzTalksHW for 4 months free when you purchase a 2-year plan. Being able to use a VPN on a console is pretty cool stuff, but I want to let you in on an even cooler aspect of the Series S. You can actually play PC games on it. I know. Pretty crazy. Nvidia offers a cloud gaming service called GeForce Now, and it runs natively on Microsoft Edge, including the version on the Xbox Series S. It can be a little bit buggy, but for the most part it works, and it works really well. Cyberpunk 2077, for example, looked and felt great. I played the game without a sweat, and at bare minimum I had console performance, but with the freedom to tweak settings. Lost Ark, a PC-exclusive MMORPG, had zero issues with this game on keyboard and mouse, and it played just like how it does on my desktop. Even fast-paced, competitive shooters like Counter-Strike 2 was totally fine. I didn't experience lag or frame drops at all, and in-game voice chat even worked. Hello, my friend. I'm currently speaking. Though my microphone quality was pretty bad. So far, it's clear that the Xbox has potential to completely replace your desktop computer if you're on a tight budget. I mean, you can play both console games and PC games, and you can do menial tasks. But what's the catch? Unfortunately, there's quite a few. Using the Series S as a console is fine, but using it as a desktop creates a total array of user experience issues. For example, typing in Microsoft Edge became a nuisance really quickly. Anytime you click in a typable box or highlight text, the on-screen keyboard pops up, and the only way to get rid of this is by pressing the B button on the controller. It seems trivial, but when you're drafting emails, writing scripts, or even just web browsing, it becomes pretty annoying pretty quickly. USB webcams do work with the Xbox Series S, especially in native Xbox apps, but any kind of online meeting does not work very well. No camera found, but it's plugged in. I got my C920 right here, it's plugged into the USB port. Google Meets and Teams did not work properly, and Edge actually crashed a few times. And the biggest offender, bar none, you don't have access to local storage. That just sucks. There really isn't any way around it. You cannot upload or download anything from Edge. You're completely dependent on the cloud or your smartphone to complete any tasks that require file storage access. Even just changing my wallpaper to a cat requires installing a third-party application. And even with the new app, I had to jump through several hoops to make it work. And this also includes photo editing with Photopea. I couldn't even copy images from the browser into Photopea or properly connect a cloud drive to access photos. And unfortunately, the issues don't stop there. GeForce Now even has some problems that are specific to just the Series S. Some games like Warframe require a login after they launch, but the in-game cursor will conflict with the Xbox operating system cursor, and that prevented login for me. This cursor conflict issue also carries itself into other games like Cyberpunk and Lost Ark. As a matter of fact, Lost Ark was an interesting one because that game natively supports a gamepad. I tried that on the Series S and only a select few buttons actually worked. Like I can use my controller to move around. And apparently if you press LB and use one of the action buttons, you can also use your skips. But when I hold LB, literally cannot do anything. I can only auto attack. It's fine with keyboard and mouse, but unplayable with the gamepad. There's also network latency that you can't really circumvent. Thankfully, GeForce Now's latency is really low if you have adequate internet speeds, and I didn't experience any kind of input delay that dramatically affected my gameplay, even in fast-paced games like Counter-Strike 2. But that input delay is always going to be a little worse than just the physical computer. And lastly, you're just limited by the GeForce Now platform. The free version only offers 1 hour of gameplay before disconnection, and you're stuck in longer queues, which can be a chore at peak hours. And then there are just small things that you can't do on the Series S because you're chained to Microsoft Edge, and there really aren't any Xbox apps that allow for a desktop environment. Programming actually works if you have a robust online IDE and compiler available, but a lot of languages, like C for example, lack that. You can use an HDMI splitter to connect multiple monitors, but it just clones the screen, which wouldn't be very helpful for a lot of people. So I think the Series S has a lot of redeeming qualities that would make it a compelling alternative to a desktop computer. But as many redeeming qualities as it has equal or even more downfalls. The dependence on a web browser and the lack of file access are really the two major things that kind of kill it. And if you're going to use GeForce Now anyway, you could just buy a Series S and then pick up a cheap Chromebook for under $100 that supports Linux on Chrome, and then you have yourself an even better setup that I think is a little bit more versatile and more reliable. Or you could just save up and then build one of the affordable computers that I have on my website, OzTalksHW.fun. This doesn't change my opinion of the Series S. I still think it's one of the best value just pieces of technology that you can buy, and I don't regret my decision. But as a desktop computer, I don't think it's something I can recommend. But thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure you leave a like. If you don't, let me know what you disliked, and let me know what you think of the Series S as a desktop computer. What do you think Microsoft could do to actually make this happen? Because I think there isn't too much to be done. Just a few simple things, and it could actually work fairly well. Check out NordVPN, link will be in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.